we're delighted to welcome some folks from what they call the International Student Foundation. Ashley Polito is the executive director, and she's originally from Southern California, right?
That's right.
And then spent about 20 years in good old Dallas, Texas, but came to Texas to attend initially SMU. Good choice.
Thank you.
Good choice. Great school.
Go Mustangs.
Yeah, go Mustangs. Oh, here we go. I knew it. We couldn't get through an hour without a go Mustangs. Yeah, she's proud, folks. She's proud. She's wearing red, white, and blue. I never figured it out until just now why she's doing that. But we're delighted to have you. Thank you for being here. Tell us, first of all, Ashley, about the International Student Foundation, what it is, and, get close to that microphone, my friend, and tell us all about what you do day to day. What's this organization? What is it all about for somebody that's never heard about it?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having us today.
You're most welcome.
We are a nonprofit organization based right here in Dallas. We do have a local, national, and an international presence, and we are focused on helping kids who are orphaned and who have aged out of the foster care system. So that is our specific focus.
Now, you say international. Is this literally all over the world?
It is. This year we have one young lady that we're helping who is in Ghana, and the rest of the students this year are in the United States, across the United States.
Now, how does somebody from Dallas, Texas get involved with somebody from Ghana?
We have a formal application process that all of the students go through, and then we have a selection committee. So we are choosing students, and we're looking for very specific characteristics, leadership qualities, etc.
Tell us about the age group. Now, you're talking about high school students? You're talking going back to middle school, high school, grade school? What is this?
They are at least 18 years old. That is when...
So we're talking college age then?
Yes, college age. And we are helping kids financially for their college education or even a specialty school. And if they would like to continue on and even attend graduate school, we really want to be there for them to help bridge that gap financially. Then the second piece of our program is our mentoring program. And Tisha is with us today to represent our mentoring program.
Very good. And Tisha, we're going to get to you in just a second, give you a nice introduction. But I want to ask Ashley one more time. This sounds like a great endeavor. I like the initiative, but where does the money come from?
Oh, gosh, that's a great question. We are so thrilled to have just wonderful supporters right here in our community. We are, right now, that is how we are supported, corporate sponsorships as well as individual donations. So I think it's real important for everyone who's listening today to know that we're currently not supported by state or federal funding. So we have been able to help these kids truly by the generosity, the tremendous generosity of those living right here in our community and outside of our community as well.
All right, you talk about Tisha Civils. She's a ISF mentor, and we talked about the mentoring program being part of what you do day to day. First of all, hello, Tisha.
Hello, Scott.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
You're most welcome. Are you from Dallas?
I am from Dallas.
You didn't spend any time out in Southern California before you got smart and finally came to the great state of Texas then, right? Okay.
No, I grew up right here in South Dallas, and when I became an adult, I moved to North Dallas.
Very good, very good. I can now make sure both of you get real close to those microphones so everybody out there can hear you. Number 2, mentor. When I think of a mentor, I remember, my daughter was a mentor of sorts, a big brother, big sister type thing in the Big Brothers Big Sisters Foundation. And yet I just wondered, what do you do? Because your mentor, we're talking about Ghana, and you said prior to going on the air that you deal with a youngster from South Carolina. So tell me how that all works.
That is correct. We actually do it via phone. I guess we could do FaceTime or Skype too if we had the availability, but these young students are very, very busy because most of the time they are working one or multiple jobs while trying to attend school. So I have a phone call with my particular student every couple of weeks. We can do it more often if we want to, but the requirement is for them to meet with us at least every other week. And we go over goals and things that she has challenges with at the current time. Maybe it's testing time for her, or maybe it's something within her job. Can be family related, relationship related, friendship related, whatever that may be. We talk about it. We try to work through what the issues are, and then see how we can help her for the next few days, and just put together a plan and help her have somebody she can have encourage her and help her get through those challenges that she has no one to turn to.
And these are the youngsters, as we mentioned before, are through the foster. They've gone through the foster system. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yes. My student, I believe she went to the foster system around age 8, and she went from several different homes. She still has connection with her family, but she is completely on her own financially and really trying to figure out how to get through and muddle through the education system, the government funding system, and in order to be able to do this. It is a very cumbersome process, and they really need somebody that they can ask questions of and draw on expertise and knowledge.
How do you build a relationship with someone like that when you're in Dallas, Texas, and she's in South Carolina? I think the concept is great, but I'm just curious how, if I'm a young student that certainly has gone through the foster care system,
right,
and I'm thinking, oh gosh, and I'm sure the word trust is something that has never been a big part of their life.
Absolutely. Because
of where they've had to come from and where they are today. So how do you establish that trust and that relationship with someone like that?
Really, it's through time, but that's what ISF, they do a great matching process. They try to match your personal characteristics, your personal experiences with the right student so that that trust and that time invested can happen in a much quicker process. And so for my personal experience, Faith and I had a lot of similarities. And so my student, I'm sorry, her name is Faith, we had a lot of similarities. And so we were very quickly able to establish a great relationship that we've just built on and grown, and hopefully will continue even when she leaves the program.
Have you ever met her?
I have never met her.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Do you exchange pictures or anything like that?
Absolutely, yes. Yes, we're Facebook friends, we're Instagram friends, we text, we
Modern
email.
Technology is great, isn't it?
It really is. It makes these kinds of things very, very easy.
And that's kind of where I was going with this whole conversation, is the fact that maybe doing this 20 or 30 years ago would have been totally different.
Absolutely.
And the dynamics of how it all unfolds very different than today.
Absolutely. You can definitely get to know a person even without them telling. If you're a Facebook friend, I know what's going on in her day-to-day life. She knows what's going on in mine. So it does make it a lot easier.
A lot more personal.
Absolutely.
Why did you get involved?
I came from a challenging childhood myself. I was not in the foster system or anything like that, but I was raised by a teenage mother, and I had a lot of challenges that I faced. And there were people along the way that made the difference for me, who cared about me and just tried to pour into encouragement and tried to guide me however they could. So I always made it a goal to give back. I gave back to younger children, and this just kind of surfaced for me, and it seemed like a natural fit. So it's something I believe I'll always continue to do, and something I really love. And it really pays me, gives back to me more than you could ever imagine.
Do you have a family of your own?
I do. I have a 13-year-old son, and I've been married for almost 19 years.
Interesting. And what does he think about all this?
He thinks it's great. He really loves it. He
kind of a stepsister in South Carolina.
Absolutely. And I actually have 2 stepsons too. And so one of the things he'll tell you that he loved about me is that I embraced his children. I loved his children. Kids were always so important to me. So I loved them like they were my own kids. And I know that was one of the things that he really loved about me. So I continue it on, even though I only had one of my own. All of my son's friends, they're welcome to my home. I'll take you wherever you want to go. I embrace all children as I can.
How about you, Ashley? What was it that you're the executive director, so this is your day-to-day job, but when you pick a job like this, it's usually something that you have an interest in. You're, for whatever reason, touched by, again, a nonprofit like this, maybe from the heart, an emotional attachment. What was it that you thought, I really like this? Did you come from a challenging childhood?
You know what? I did not. And I feel either you come from a challenging situation or you're on the opposite end of the spectrum where you were incredibly blessed. And I have amazing parents who I just love with all my heart. And part of the reason I was in California is my mom, who is a complete champion, is a 2-time cancer survivor. So she really, and my dad and my extended family have always been there for me to show me love, support, encouragement, grace. And these are all the things that these kids need in their life. So when I found out what was going on in our foster care system, and then when I really learned what it meant to age out of the system, I just couldn't say no. I mean, I had to do something to help these kids. And this was the opportunity that was given to me. And I am just incredibly, incredibly grateful and very honored. It's a privilege to be a voice and an advocate for these kids who truly are voiceless. They have been forgotten. They have been abandoned. They have been basically turned over to a system. And I think people really forget that this is a system that they have been turned over to. And the government is essentially acting like their family. And how can government act like a family? It is completely impossible. So these kids are being bounced around from home to home, home to home. There is no stability. They are being bounced around to several different schools during this process, and they do not have a stable environment, and they do not have loved ones in their life who are there to really invest in them emotionally and to help them, guide them, give them vision for their life. You know, I was lucky. I had parents who told me, you can do anything that you want to do. And they helped create a vision for me. And these kids do not have that. And they don't have anyone in their corner to say, you can do it. You can go to college. You can be anything that you want to be. And that is why I'm so incredibly passionate about what we're doing, because through our mentoring program, that is where we're able to step in and really bridge that gap for these kids. So yes, we're bridging the gap for them financially, but more importantly, we're bridging the gap for them emotionally. And that's the true heartbeat of what we're doing.
Yeah, you really are the support system, aren't you?
Yes, we are. I mean, can you imagine going through life and not having anybody ever tell you, I love you. You are worth it. You matter. You are going to do great things. Never receiving a birthday card, never receiving a phone call on your birthday, not having anyone at your graduation, not having anyone help you move into your dorm as a freshman in college. I mean, these are the things that these kids don't have, that people, you know what? It's not their fault. They just don't stop and think about it because they haven't been exposed to the foster care system. And then we don't really think that at 18, these kids are literally turned out onto the street without any more support. So they are left alone and on their own at 18, and they are asked to be adults in a real world that they are completely unprepared for. I mean, if I think back when I'm 18, if my parents said, we love you and we have done absolutely everything for you and we cannot help you anymore, where would I have gone? What money would I have had? Where would I have lived? Would I have had transportation? Would I have been able to get a job? I wouldn't know how to interview for a job. I wouldn't have any skills to even go get a decent paying job.
Just things that we all take for granted.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yep. No question about it. Well, I tell you what, we have one of those foster folks, one of the people that was in the foster system, foster care system, and he's standing by from Beaumont, Texas. So when we come back, we will check in with him and find out what this incredible organization has done for him. International Student Foundation is what we're talking about here on the Scott Murray Show at 7:18 on your Sunday night. We're back with more here on 570 KLIF. Little hot out there, but all kinds of good things to share with you tonight. And we're talking about the International Student Foundation, a wonderful mentoring program for those that have been a part of the foster care system. And the next gentleman we're going to introduce to you is a young man that is down in Beaumont, Texas. His name is Ryan Dollinger, and he is a scholarship recipient from International Student Foundation, presently in the mentoring program, entered foster care at the age of 12, aged out of the foster care system at the age of 18, which is basically the norm. And today, Ryan is 26 years old. He attends Lamar University in Beaumont, is planning on obtaining his bachelor's degree in social work with a master's in public administration, and then his long-term goal is to go on to law school. So some lofty goals, and I think it's great. Congratulations to you, Ryan, and thank you for joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you're more than welcome. Was it 110 degrees in Beaumont today like it was here in Dallas, Texas?
And maybe not quite 110, but pretty close.
Well, it really wasn't 110, although we're supposed to go over 100 a little later on this week. It was warm, though. I will say that. Well, we've talked to Tisha and we've talked to Ashley about the mentoring program. Of course, Tisha is a mentor, and you're one of the people that was involved in the foster care system. So tell us about, first of all, how you got involved with the International Student Foundation, and then I'm going to ask you what it has done for you. And obviously, it sounds like you've become extremely efficient at what you've been trying to do and very successful thus far. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. To answer your question, I actually was the president of an organization called Foster Care Alumni of America, the Texas chapter here in the state of Texas. And I was reached out to by the executive director at the time to ask if I knew of anybody that would need help with scholarship assistance. And so I had reached out to our membership here in Texas to volunteer those services to them, and actually went to the national organization and gave the resources to them as well. And we put it up on their website. And as I got to thinking, I was like, I'm in college. I could probably benefit from that. And so I went through the application process Ashley talked about and was selected, and I'm very grateful for that. And so I've been with ISF ever since then. So.
Well, you talk about ISF. I just wondered if you look back and you think to yourself, you're all of 26 years old now, but and still striving for your goals. And yet, I wonder, as you look back, some of the things this organization has allowed you to do that maybe, had it not been for ISF, you would not have been able to do. What comes to mind?
Sure. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, it's already been highlighted, the mentoring program. I have a great mentor, Renee, and we're best friends. She's someone I call whenever I need to talk, or someone that I want to get things through, or, if I'm making a decision as to what I need to do in my life or what direction I want to go, she's the person I call and talk to about it. She's probably the most important aspect of ISF. One other thing that I've gotten from ISF is that peace of mind. I take all of the scholarship monies that I receive and I put it towards my housing. Close to 70% of youth who have been in foster care go homeless within their first year of being out of foster care. And so that's one of my fears. And so that's one of the things that I made sure that with the ISF funds that I was able to avoid. And so that's something that is really, really important to me. And so I guess that's another way that I benefit from ISF.
So you're responsible for literally supporting yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Whenever I graduated high school in 2005, I had turned 18 in March and graduated in May. And the state of Texas, the night I graduated, no longer paid for my foster care housing. And so my foster parents, I always say that I graduated high school walking across the stage with my luggage, because that night I was no longer allowed to stay there. And so I had to fend for myself. I had to have an apartment ready. I had to have furniture in the apartment. I had to have a bed to sleep on. So you're right. I mean, they just kind of throw you in the world and say good luck.
As you look back, what is it that you're, well, I think you've kind of answered this, but you're most grateful for? I mean, just the very fact that I'm trying to think of myself. If I was 18, when I was 18, I was getting, I started college when I was 17, and then was in my freshman year when I was 18. And I think back, and if I had to do what I've just heard you share that you had to do, I don't know that I'd been able to do it. So how have you been able to do it? What was it that you did back then that really was kind of the turning point, I guess, is where I'm going with this?
Sure. One thing that I have come to learn as I've worked with youth that have been in foster care, and even myself, is that we are very resilient. We have been faced with a very hard hand, and we struggle, but somehow we make it. And honestly, I'm not sure exactly how I did it. I worked 2 jobs, and I had purchased myself a vehicle while I was in foster care. I had saved up enough money, and so Because I had the two jobs, I was able to provide for myself financially. I mean, I was not. I worked at Pizza Hut and Subway, so it wasn't like I was, very wealthy. But my ends were being met. But it was also a program that we have in Texas called CASA that helped me as well. That I had, just like Renee, I have a mentor with CASA that I have stayed with ever since I was 12. So I've been able to talk to her and, just bounce things off of her. And so I am very fortunate. Unlike most foster kids who've been in foster care, I've had somebody to talk to me through things the entire time, that I was in foster care and even now. So,
well, I think you've kind of taken me right to the last question I was going to ask you, and that's the mentoring program. People like Tisha, and you talk about CASA, and I'm well aware of the mentors that CASA has and what an incredible organization that is as well, as is ISF. If it weren't for those people that you had a chance to reach out to, those are your mentors, or your almost like parents of sorts, or a big brother, big sister, right. You'd be in a world of hurt, wouldn't you? Absolutely.
I'd be lost. Navigating through the foster care system, Ashley said it earlier, you truly are forgotten. There are thousands and thousands of children who are in foster care, and only a handful of caseworkers to handle all of these children in their lives and making the decisions for you. And then whenever you turn 18, they kick you to the curb. And so it's almost like you're lost. It's almost like you're in a whole different city, you're in a whole different world, and they just want you to navigate without any help. And so without these folks, these fine folks who are willing to volunteer their time and their efforts, we would be lost. We would absolutely be lost.
You talked about what you had to do when you get out. You walked across the graduation stage with literally your bags in hand. Right. Great analogy. I can see that picture in front of me. My final question to you is, why didn't you give up? It would have been a lot easier.
That's true, but I wanted to break the system. I wanted to prove myself. Whenever I was in foster care, I had a foster father that who told me one time, he said, I don't know why I'm wasting my time on you. You all are going to be homeless or on the streets within a year. And, ever since then, I have never forgotten that. And every time I'm written up in the newspaper or the dean's list in college or president's list, I actually clip it and I send it to him anonymously and let him know that, I didn't end up on the street. I did not end up doing drugs. I didn't end up in prison. But, I'm now a senior in college, about to graduate with a bachelor's and been accepted into grad school. I'm married. And so it's just that I wanted to break the cycle. I didn't want my children to have to go through the same thing that I went through. And so I wanted to make a difference. And so that's also why I, too, volunteer my time in this area. So,
do you have any children?
I just found out yesterday that my wife is pregnant.
You're kidding.
So, as of today, they'll be born in 9 months. So,
well, that is fantastic. Congratulations on that. And let me also say something else to you. You've got everybody up here in the studio all but in tears with your last statement as to why you didn't give up. I have never met you. This is the first time you and I have ever talked, but I want you to know something. If you come to Dallas, Texas, I want you to look me up, because I am most impressed with who you are and what you stand for and what you're all about, and the great response you've given to all of my questions leading up to the very fact that every single time you talk about someone in the foster system, you could understand why they just feel so beaten down and why they could easily give up. And you did not. You did not. Right. So I have the utmost respect for you, and I can't thank you enough for stopping by tonight. Continued success, and I'm serious. If you ever come to Dallas, you look me up. Scott Murray. I would love to meet you. Lunch is on me, my friend.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you so much. Stay on the line. We're going to finish up our conversation with Tisha and Ashley, but thank you again, and all the success, and congratulations on the new baby too. That's neat stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Boy, that's good stuff. Wipe the tears from your eyes, ladies. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's why you're here tonight, and that's why what you do every single day. And Tisha, you get a chance now to see what a mentor can do, and just the impact that they have on someone, on their life. You're the one person, you're the ace in the hole that they can pick up a phone, I'm sure, 24/7.
Absolutely.
Call me. Let's talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We're always there for them, and we want to see them defy the odds. And that's why we're here, to help them do that.
Ryan has certainly defied the odds. I'm going to give you the final word here. We've got 30, 45 seconds. What comes to mind, Ashley?
Oh my gosh. Well, I have to pull myself together, quite honestly. I just love these kids.
They're special. I see why you do what you do day in and day out. Did not know that much about International Student Foundation and the mentoring program that is so obviously important. What I'd like you to do before you wrap it up, one of you give me a website that folks can go to, a phone number. I'm sure a lot of folks out there tonight have been touched by what you've shared with us all. Maybe some would like to be involved with the program, maybe be a mentor, maybe give some money, whatever works to just be a part of your team.
Oh, we would absolutely love to have new members be a part of our team. Our website is www.isfsite.org. And if they go to our site, they can read about all of our students. We have wonderful profiles on each and every one that's in our class this year. We also have a whole section on how someone can become a mentor, and we are always looking for amazing, fantastic mentors. So that would just mean the world to us. If they would love to support us financially, we would of course love that as well. And there is a donate button on our website, and we also have some information that talks about how exactly their donation can make a difference. So we do provide a breakdown on that as well. So we have great information there. We would love for them to know about us.
Love to take your call. Ashley, Tisha, and Ryan down there in Beaumont, again, congratulations on your continued success. International Student Foundation, the name of the organization. You just heard the website. Check it out. Make a difference. It simply doesn't get any better than that. Thanks to you both.